Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So we are on chapter 9, Most Confidential Knowledge. And now we are going to read text 9. So, can we begin?
I can start.
Yeah.
Text 9. Nacha mam tani karmaini nibadanti dhananti dhananjaya udashina vat astanam asaktam teshu karmashu. Translation. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Purport. One should not think in this connection that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no engagement. In his spiritual world, he is always engaged. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated, Atma Ramasya Tasyati Prakritya Na Samak Maha. He is always involved in his eternal blissful spiritual activities, but he has nothing to do with these material activities. Material activities are being carried on by his different potencies. The Lord is always neutral in the material activities of the created world. This neutrality is mentioned here with the word Udasinavat. Although he has control over every minute detail of material activities, he is sitting as if neutral. The example can be given of a high court judge sitting on his bench. By his order, so many things are happening. Someone is being hanged, someone is being put into jail, someone is awarded a huge amount of wealth, but still he is neutral. He has nothing to do with all that gain and loss. Similarly, the Lord is always neutral, although he has his hand in every sphere of the activity. In the Vedanta Sutra 2.1.34, it is stated, Vaisamya Nairana Na. He is not situated in the dualities of this material world. He is transcendental to these dualities, nor is he attached to the creation and annihilation of this material world. The living entities take their different forms in the various species of life according to their past deeds, and the Lord does not interfere with them.
So, what is Krishna's position in this material world?
Hare Krishna, Shilpa ji, your voice is a little soft. Maybe only I am hearing it a little soft, or
Oh, actually, not able to connect.
yeah, much better. When you,
Is it
it's
better
very
now?
very soft. It's better now. Yes, it's much better now. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you. So now it's better. I think Neetu got disconnected.
Yeah, she's not there,
Yeah.
so we can wait for her. Sorry.
Yeah, can wait a moment or two.
And in the meanwhile, you can also come a little closer.
Yes. Actually, there's some. I got a new microphone. Praveen gave me a new headset actually.
Okay.
Speaker and microphone, but I think I don't know how to use it properly, I guess. I'll have to ask him. You know?
Yes, you have to ask.
So that's what I think. That's the issue now. How do I use
Because I thought suddenly what happened, maybe I thought that my phone is not working properly.
I
So
know. And the old headset I'm trying to connect back, but I think that is not. Just how to do the settings now. I'll have to ask him what to do with it.
yeah, maybe he can guide you to make it much better.
Yeah, ask him later.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, she's there. Yeah.
Neetu, you want to tell us what did we just read?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that like Lord Krishna is stating here that he has nothing to do with the material activities, and only by his potencies, all this has been they've been carrying on all these spiritual activities, and he doesn't interfere in all this. It's only to because of our people's past karmas and deeds, they take birth again, and he doesn't interfere with it.
Yeah, that's right. Because we think, oh, God is responsible for my possession. I'm here. God did this to me. He's saying, no, he's neutral. The creation is, he created because we want to enjoy the material world. And we act in certain way, then we get certain reactions. So he's not, as we said yesterday, right? The free will. He does not interfere with our free will. Okay. And does he get karma?
No,
Yeah, exactly. He does not get karma because someone may think, oh, God is here in the material world. So everybody gets karma, so he should also get karma. No, he doesn't get karma. He's God. He doesn't act on the material platform. He comes in his spiritual body and he doesn't act at all. He's not personally involved with the material energy. Although he comes to the material world, he comes with his spiritual energy. Okay. So, right, then we can, yeah, so based on
he's
our,
also being compared to a high court judge sitting on his bench, and everything is happening according to his order.
yeah, but the High Court judge is not attached. Somebody has done something, so he's giving the result accordingly. Somebody's done something, he's giving the result accordingly. It's just his, that's his position. So, and then we are getting different bodies based on our own karma, right? Various species
Yeah.
of according to past. ठीक है. So we'll go to the next one.
Hare Krishna. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat vipriti vartate. Translation. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction. O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Purport. It is clearly stated here that the Supreme Lord, although aloof from all the activities of the material world, remains the Supreme Director. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Will. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Will and the background of this material manifestation. But the management is being conducted by material nature. Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita that of all of the living entities in different forms and species, I am the Father. The Father gives seeds to the womb of the mother for the child, and similarly, the Supreme Lord, by his merry glands, injects all the living entities into the womb of material nature, and they come out into their different forms and species according to their last desires and activities. All these living entities, although born under the glance of the Supreme Lord, takes their different bodies according to their past deeds and desires. So the Lord is not directly attached to this material creation. He simply glances over the material nature. Material nature is thus activated, and everything is created immediately because he glances over material nature. There is undoubtedly activity on the part of the Supreme Lord, but he has nothing to with the manifestation of the material world directly. This example is given in the Smriti. When there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person, yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. There is a similar connection between the material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Actually, he has nothing to do with this material world, but he creates by his glance and ordains. In summary, material nature, without the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, cannot do anything. Yet, the Supreme Personality is detached from all material activities.
So what does Krishna say?
So Krishna is trying to tell us about this material nature, the material world, that it is one of his energies and it is working under his direction. He's telling Arjuna. And he's the one who's producing all the moving and the non-moving beings, sorry. And under his rule, this manifestation is created, this material world is created and annihilated again and again.
Yeah.
Under his order.
Yeah. Everything is happening according to his will. He's the supreme director. Like how we have the conductor, then he moves his hands, and then the different people in the orchestra playing the different instruments, but it's being orchestrated by the conductor, right? So everything is happening by Krishna's will. If someone may think it's the material energy, but no, she's dormant. She does not create the soul. We living entities are put inside this material nature by Krishna simply by his glance, by looking. Mahavishnu just glances at material nature, and by his glance, we the souls are put inside this material nature. Because someone may think material nature is the cause of our creation, the souls. But no, it's Krishna. We are eternal. Krishna is eternal, we are eternal. We are his part and parcel. So, this is what it is saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mayadhyakshena Prakriti is working under his supervision, Krishna's supervision. Everything is being orchestrated under his supervision. So we'd say sometimes, oh, it's a coincidence, but it's orchestrated by Krishna. We think it's a coincidence. And then everything is happening according to the laws of karma. He has set the law of karma. Somebody will act in this way, they're going to get this reaction like that. Okay, we go on to the next one.
Yeah.
Text 11. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. Sorry, 1 second. Sir. Yeah, sorry. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Translation. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be. Purport. From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. The personality of Godhead, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the complete cosmic manifestation, cannot be a human being. It is Yet there are many foolish men who consider Krishna to be merely a powerful man and nothing more. Actually, he is the original Supreme Personality, as is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord. There are many Ishvaras controllers, and one appears greater than another. In the ordinary management of affairs in the material world, we find some official or director, and above him there is a secretary, and above him a minister, and above him a president. Each of them is a controller, but one is controlled by another. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Krishna is the supreme controller. There are many controllers, undoubtedly, both in the material and spiritual world. But Krishna is the supreme controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna, and his body is Satchit Anand, non material. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in the previous verses. His body is eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Although he is not a common man, the foolish deride him and consider him to be a man. His body is called here Manu Manusim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna's, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways, he is acting just like an ordinary man, but actually his body is Satchid Anand Vigraha, eternal bliss and knowledge absolute. This is confirmed in the Vedic language also, Satchid Anand Rupaya Krishnaya. I offer my obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the eternal blissful form of knowledge. Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.1. There are other descriptions in the Vedic language also. Tam Ekam Govindam. You are Govinda, the pleasure of the senses and the cows. Satchid Anand Vigraham, and your form is transcendental, full of knowledge, bliss, and eternality. Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.38. Despite the transcendental qualities of Lord Krishna's body, its full bliss and knowledge, there are many so called scholars and commentators of Bhagavad Gita who deride Krishna as an ordinary man. The scholar may be born an extraordinary man due to his previous good work, but this conception of Sri Krishna is due to a poor fund of knowledge. Therefore, he is called Mudha, for only foolish persons consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being. The foolish consider Krishna an ordinary human being because they do not know the confidential activities of the Supreme Lord and his different energies. They do not know that Krishna's body is a symbol of complete knowledge and bliss, that he is the proprietor of everything that be, and that he can award liberation to anyone. Because they do not know that Krishna has so many transcendental qualifications, they deride him. Nor do they know that the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this material world is a manifestation of his internal energy. He is the master of the material energy. As has been explained in several places, Mama Maya Duratyaya, he claims that the material energy, although very powerful, is under his control, and whoever surrenders unto him can get out of the control of this material energy. If a soul surrendered to Krishna can get out of the influence of material energy, then how can the Supreme Lord, who conducts the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of the whole cosmic nature, have a material body like us? So, this conception of Krishna is complete foolishness. Foolish persons, however, cannot conceive that the personality of Godhead Krishna, appearing just like an ordinary man, can be the controller of all the atoms and of the gigantic manifestation of the universal form. The biggest and the minutest are beyond their conception, so they cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. It is clearly stated concerning his yogam aishwaram, his unconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. Although the foolish cannot imagine how Krishna, who appears just like a human being, can control the infinite and finite, those who are pure devotees accept this, for they know that Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, they completely surrender unto Him and engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord. There are many controversies between the impersonalists and the personalists about the Lord's appearance as a human being. But if we consult Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the authoritative texts for understanding the science of Krishna, then we can understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary man, although he appeared on this earth as an ordinary human. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, when the sages headed by Shaunaka inquired about the activities of Krishna, they said, Kritavan kila karmani saharamena keshava ati matyani bhagavan godha kapata manusha. Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with Balarama, played like a human being, and so masked, he performed many superhuman acts. Bhaga 1.1.20. The Lord's appearance as a man bewilders the foolish. No human being could perform the wonderful acts that Krishna performed while he was present on this earth. When Krishna appeared before his father and mother, Vasudeva and Devaki, he appeared with 4 hands, but after the prayer of his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child. As stated in the Bhagavatam 10.3.46, Bahuva Prakrita Shishu, he became just like an ordinary child, an ordinary human being. Now, here again, it is indicated that the Lord's appearance as an ordinary human being is one of the features of his transcendental body. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, also it is stated that Arjuna prayed to see Krishna's form of 4 hands, Tainaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena. After revealing this form, Krishna, when petitioned by Arjuna, again assumed his original human like form, Manusham Rupam. These different features of the Supreme Lord are certainly not those of an ordinary human being. Some of those who deride Krishna and who are infected with the Mayavadi philosophy quote the following verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29 to 20.21 to prove that Krishna is just an ordinary man. Aham sarveshu bhuteshu bhutatma Vashtita Sadha. The Supreme is present in every living entity. We should better take note of this particular verse from the Vaishnava Acharyas like Jiva Goswami and Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura instead of following the interpretation of unauthorized persons who deride Krishna. Jiva Goswami, commenting on this verse, says that Krishna, in its plenary expansion as Paramatma, is situated in the moving and the non moving entities as a super soul. So, any neophyte devotee who simply gives his attention to the Archamurti, the form of the Supreme Lord in the temple, and does not respect other living entities, is uselessly worshipping the form of the Lord in the temple. There are 3 kinds of devotees of the Lord, and the neophyte is in the lowest stage. The neophyte devotee gives more attention to the deity in the temple than to other devotees. So Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura warns that this sort of mentality should be corrected. A devotee should see that because Krishna is present in everyone's heart as Paramatma, everybody is the embodiment or the temple of the Supreme Lord. So, as one offers respect to the temple of the Lord, he should similarly properly respect each and everybody in which the Paramatma dwells. Everyone should therefore be given proper respect and should not be neglected. There are also many impersonalists who deride temple worship. They say that since God is everywhere, why should one restrict himself to temple worship? But if God is everywhere, is he not in the temple or in the deity? Although the personalist and the impersonalist will fight with one another perpetually, a perfect devotee in Krishna consciousness knows that although Krishna is a supreme personality, he is all pervading, as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, although his personal abode is Goloka Vrindavana, and he is always staying there. by his different manifestations of energy and by his plenary expansion, he is present everywhere in all parts of the material and spiritual creation.
We can see how Prabhupada is explaining in this purport. He's given a very long purport to help us understand. What do we need to understand?
That Lord Krishna is not a human being and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, that's right. And what about his body?
He is Satchid Anand.
Yeah, that's right. Satchidananda. He doesn't have a material body. His body is eternal, full of bliss, full of knowledge. Even Lord Brahma is saying that in Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Sorry. So, Krishna has transcendental qualities, Krishna has transcendental body. Surely the activities he performed, no ordinary person could perform those activities. For example, which are some...
Like the creation.
Oh, yes. Creation. Yeah. Can't do the creation.
Creation and annihilation.
Yeah. And also when he was here 5,000 years ago, his activities, can't imitate them. Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, which one?
Like how whichever demons he conquered.
Yeah, that's true. He killed so many demons. He was a baby. Hardly such a small baby, he killed Putana.
Putana.
Yeah. And one by one, he killed so many demons. What else?
He holded
Also,
the
when he
Govardhan.
lifted the Govardhan.
Yeah.
Yeah, all three of us thought of the same one. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, Govardhan. Small child, 7 years old. You see, small children, 7 years old. You know, how much strength do they have? And they even hold a big table. Krishna's holding Govardhan. Govardhan was much bigger 5,000 years ago. Yeah. So,
And also killing of the Kalia snake.
well, he didn't kill Kalia.
Oh,
He
sorry.
subdued.
Did we?
Yeah, he subdued Kalia. He was dancing on his hoods. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Imagine a small child dancing on a huge snake and subduing him. Yeah. So there, by so many of Krishna's pastimes, we can understand he's not a
And like how he got his guru's child back from death.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He got his guru's child back from death. Yeah. You know, so can an ordinary person do that? No ordinary person can do that, right? No ordinary person can bring somebody back to life. And also he brought his other brothers to life. When Devki heard that that you brought your guru's son back to life, now you also bring the 6 children. And he actually brought them back to life. His brothers. So much, we can see there's so much evidence to understand that Krishna is God. He's not an ordinary living entity. And then what about the Paramatma in this last paragraph? Last 2 paragraphs. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning the Paramatma.
That he's just not in the deity form. He's present in each and everyone's heart.
Yeah. So everyone should be given proper respect and no one should be neglected. And we should not be neglected. Sorry, because... And the Paramatma? Where's the Paramatma coming from?
Means his personal, are you talking about where does he stay?
Paramatma is Krishna's expansion.
Expansion.
Krishna expands as Paramatma to be here in the material world, to accompany us. In the spiritual world, there's no need of Paramatma because we can see Krishna face to face directly. We can see Lord Narayan face to face directly. But here in the material world, he accompanies us in his expansion as Paramatma. Okay. So this is how Krishna is everywhere. Although he is there in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan, he is here in the material world in his Paramatma expansion, and he is his material energy. He's created the material world. We, the jivas, we are his marginal energy, his superior energy. So that's how he's everywhere. He is omnipotent, all potent. Okay. Any comments, questions?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Stop
I
here.
got you.
Yeah, okay. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.